机成功。
Hello there. Good morning. How are you today? You should always say, I'm fine, thank you. It's okay. Although it's old-fashioned way of speaking English, right? But it's okay. You can always say, I'm fine, thank you. Never out of date. So, today we're gonna talk about the remaining part of the principal source of WTO law. The remaining part of the principal source of WTO law and the other sources of WTO law. We're gonna end chapter 2. You know what does this mean? Gonna. I'm gonna. Yes, gonna stands for going to. Going to. What about this one? Wanna. Want to. Yes. What about this one? Gotta. Go to. I gotta go. Means I must go. I must leave. I gotta go. Okay, prior to going into the specific content, let's recall what we've learned last week. I've got 8 questions for you. I've got 8 questions for you. Question number 1. How many groups of basic rules can be distinguished in WTO law? How many groups, or we say categories of WTO law, can be distinguished, can be divided? How many groups of basic rules can be distinguished in WTO law? You still remember the table of contents I listed here? Right? We can divide WTO law into 3 big categories and 6 subcategories. Then what are the 3 big categories of WTO law? I'll pick someone to answer me. And what about Wu Qiaoying? Yeah, you have. Do you have any memory of that? The three big categories of WTO law. They are. I'll give you a hint. The first is institutional rules. The second would be procedural rules. And the last one, the third one would be as opposed to procedural rules, we have substantive rules. Substantives. Okay? Then, next question would be what are included in the substantive rules? You still remember there are 4 chapters, the last 4 chapters, right? So what are they? What rules are included in the substantive rules of WTO law? Liu Huimin. Four. Chapter 5. If you don't know, you can say, sorry. Okay, it's okay. Anybody want to volunteer? Any volunteers? What about you? The 4 categories in substantive rules.
Non-discrimination,
Good.
barriers,
Good.
unfair trade, and exceptions.
Exceptions. Okay, very good. Thank you. The four types of substantive rules are non-discrimination rules, rules on barriers, unfair trade, and exceptions. Okay. Next question. What's arguably the single most important rule in WTO law? What's the arguably single most rule in WTO law? Without this rule, the WTO could and would not exist at all. What's that, Zhang Kai? MFN. What's the full name of MFN? Most favored nation rule, right? This rule is the single most important rule in WTO law. Okay. Next question. What is the principal source of WTO law? I don't think that's a very difficult question because last week, basically, we are dealing with the principal source of WTO law, right? So what is it, Wang Zhengze? What's the principal source of WTO law? The main source. The main source, the principal source.
The Marrakesh Agreement establishing the World Trade Organization.
Exactly. Thank you. The principal source of WTO law is the WTO agreement, and its full name is Marrakesh Agreement establishing World Trade Organization. That's it. That is the principal source of WTO law. Okay, then next question, and the last question for last week's learning is, what is the most recent specific agreement under GATT 1994? we've got GATT 1994 in 1A, right? And there are how many specific agreements under GATT 1994? How many? 13, exactly, very good. And my question would be, what's the most recent specific agreement in this 13 agreements? 郑培瑶.
TFA.
Exactly, very good, spot on answer. Spot on means exactly, completely correct. It's TFA. Then, what's TFA about? A choice question. What's TFA about? Border measures or behind the border measures?
Board measures.
Wow, very good. You're right, correct. It's about the border measures. It's about the customs, procedures, and the formalities, right? Yes, very good, very good. Good. Then that's everything I would like to recall for what we've learned last week. Then we will move on to today's content. Okay. As you can see, it's out of control a bit. Yes, as you can see here, the agreement of trade facilitation. And this is the date on which this TFA entered into force. 22nd February 2017. Yes. And there's also another very important issue. Question is about the conflict between GATT 1994 and other specific agreements. Here, back again. What if there is a conflict between GATT 1994 and, for example, TFA? The provisions are in conflict with each other. Which provision prevails? Which provision we choose? For example, there is a provision in GATT 1994, and there is a provision in TFA, but they're in conflict with each other. Which one prevails? The former one or the latter one? The question lies here. Oh, sorry, the answer lies here. Which one shall prevail? The provision of the other agreement, that means the specific agreements, shall prevail to the extent of the conflict. Why? Because it's a specific agreement. The specific provisions always prevail over the general ones, right? Because GATT 1994's full name is a General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. Right? Good. Okay, move on. Then let's come to the subsection C, General Agreement on Trade in Services. On Trade in Services. TFA and all those 13 specific agreements together with GATT 1994, they are about what kind of goods? I mean, are they about trade in what? Trade in what? All these agreements are about trade in, choice question, goods, services, intellectual property rights. What are they about? Here. Really? Do you really think so? All these agreements are about everything? Goods, services? That's a test on your understanding of the overall architecture or hierarchy. Are they about what? First tell me, what's the name of all these agreements together? They are Annex 1, 1A, right? So 1A is about trade in goods. Very good. And what about 1B? 1B is GATS, right? GATS is about what? Trade in services. Good. What about 1C? TRIPS. Good. TRIPS is about trade in intellectual property rights. Right. Good. So let's go on into the second part, GATS, and it's about trade in services. Trade in services. Before going into that, I'll show you a short video.
We have a trade quiz for you.
They make up a large chunk of global trade, but you don't need a container to ship them.
And their trade was worth $13.3 trillion in 2017.
Yes, we are talking about trade and services.
Modern economies are increasingly based on services. This is also reflected in trade. International services trade has grown at a faster pace than trade in goods for the past decades. How would you define trade in services?
Anything you trade that cannot drop on your feet.
The most common way to trade services is to set up a business in another country. That is, for example, what banks and supermarkets are doing all over the world.
But there are other, less expensive options. The internet revolution has made it not only easier, but also cheaper to trade services.
Digitalization reduces the need for proximity between a service provider and a client. We see more and more services move online.
However, some services will always require suppliers and consumers to be both present in the same place.
The World Trade Organization provides a forum for governments to negotiate the progressive opening of their service sectors to foreign competition.
Ultimately, it's up to each WTO member to decide which services they want to open.
It is also up to each member to set requirements that all service suppliers, including foreign ones, need to meet to do business.
The role of the WTO is to ensure that trade measures are fully transparent. Regulations and services that are open to international competition must be applied in an objective, reasonable, and impartial manner.
Traders need a predictable business environment. They want to know what the rules are and how they are applied.
Which foreign services will you buy next?
What I would really like involves a flight, a hotel by the beach, a nice restaurant.
Me too. In the meantime, I think I'll just be streaming a travel documentary in my living room.
Okay. Good. So what did you learn in that video? What is service about? Service means the products that never dropped on your feet, right? You cannot touch them. They are intangible. It's not touchable, right? Good. And what else? What else have you learned in that video? The most impressive thing about that? Hotel. A hotel by the beach, right? Very good. And what else? Maybe a flight, a hotel by the beach, and streaming a travel documentary. Very good. In her living room, right? Oh, that's what you're interested in. Okay, good enough. Then there's one thing I need to stress is it's up to each member to decide which service sectors are to be open to foreigners. It's up to the member, the sovereign government of each member to open the service sectors. Okay, good. And there's one more thing about trading services is there any definition for trading services in the GATS or somewhere else? Yes or no? No. Very good. Then, what do we have to replace the definition for that? We have 4 modes of supply, right? Very good. We don't have a definition for trading services or for services, but we have 4 modes of supply of services. So I would like to invite someone to read these 4 modes of supply in services. Okay? Let me see. Who would be the lucky dog? Yang Tianyu.
First paragraph.
Trading services, second.
Okay. Trading services is defined in Article 1.2 of the GATS as the supply of a service, 1 from the territory of one member into the territory of any other member, cross-border supply. 2. In the territory of one member to a service consumer of any other member, consumption abroad. 3. By a service supplier of one member through a commercial presence in the territory of any other member, supply through a commercial presence. And 4. By a service supplier of one member through the presence of a natural persons of a member in the territory of any other member, supplies through the presence of natural persons.
Okay. Thank you. Very good. But there's only one tiny little mistake about this word, and it appeared so many times. What's that? This word. Present. Have you ever heard of the word present? But here it's presence, not presence. Presence. Okay? Presence. Presence. There are so many, as you can see. Commercial presence, presence of natural persons, through the presence of natural persons. Presence means at present. I am here means I am present here in this classroom. Okay, good. And these 4 paragraphs need to be recited or memorized by you, okay? Because they are very important. Okay? But there's one thing I'd like to emphasize on this page. It's about this paragraph. Could you please read this silently, okay? Last paragraph on this page. Okay, after reading this paragraph, I have a question. Is the exercise of governmental authority a kind of service covered by GATS? No, good, very good. Why not? Because the exercise of government authority is a special service. Government services are not subject to regulation by GATS. The services that are subject to GATS regulation are those supplied by private parties. Private parties. For example, also in the video, there are two examples of trading services. They are one, supermarkets, for example, Walmart, or banks. Banks. There is a branch of international bank, for example, HSBC. This is a bank, a foreign bank. It's headquartered in Hong Kong, maybe. Right? So these are the two examples. Walmart supermarket. And question is, which category would supermarkets fall into? These four. The Walmart. Which type? There is an establishment in China, right? So, which type would the supermarket fall into? The fourth one or the third one? The third one. Very good. Okay. Then, okay. So much about this. Okay, this page. Something wrong? This page. On this page, there's one thing I need to explain to you. It is a question raised by Xi Yuxiang, and he doesn't understand these words. Mutually exclusive agreement. Mutually exclusive agreement. What does that mean? Yes, in Chinese it's called 互相排斥, right? Mutual means mutual understanding. Yes, yes. And mutual exclusive agreements. Look at this diagram. Okay, maybe this is black, okay, the black part, and this is the white part. The white part and the black part are mutually exclusive, right? There's no gray area in between. No gray area in between. There's one interesting thing. It's that in the white part, there's always a black fish eye, like a fish eye. In the white part, there's a black fish eye. And in the black part, there is a white fish eye. They're in between. Okay. This is what we call the mutually exclusive. Okay. Then the question would be, is gets and get, I mean these two, 1A and 1B, I mean get and gets, are they mutually exclusive to each other? Get is for what? Trading goods, right? Get is for trading services. So they are mutually exclusive to each other. Don't you think so? Goods is goods, services is services. Are they? Is there any gray area in between? I mean overlapping area.
We have some.
When you read these two paragraphs, then the answer would be apparent. Actually, they are not mutually exclusive. How? Here's an example. In this case, the appellate body, right? You still remember AB. The appellate body wrote in EC Bananas 3, 1997. This is a case. I'd like to explain to you. For this case name, what does EC stand for? Full name of EC is European Communities. What's that organization? The now EC is the now EU, right? Good. It's a European Union. But in 1997, it's still European Communities. Good. This is the respondent or the complainant, EC. EC is the respondent. There are two parties in the WTO dispute. The plaintiff has another name. It's called, complainant. And the defendant is called, respondent or responding party, respondent. So the EC belongs to which party? EC belongs to which party? The respondent. The respondent. And what about bananas? It's a kind of fruit, right? But this is the subject matter of this dispute. Subject matter of this dispute. It's about bananas, okay? And of course, this is the year in which this dispute arose. Okay, let's see. What's the ruling of the appellate body? This paragraph. Also, I'd like to invite someone to read it for us. 崔宇. Read the last paragraph for us. Can you see it clearly?
A measure restricting trade in bananas may thus be charged under both the GATT 1990 to the extent that it affects trade in bananas and the GATS to the extent that it affects the supply of a service, such as wholesale trading in bananas.
Okay, thank you. I'd say sorry, but I just can't help but correct your pronunciations. Okay. Pay attention to these words. First one is talent. Okay, next one would be this one, not like GATT, too complicated, too long. Just read it as a word, get. And this one, similar to get, is gets. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a ghost in it. Here. Next word would be this one. The word in red is called wholesale. Wholesale. Wholesale means what? To sell something in batch. Boxes of goods, not for single item. Okay, wholesale. Then, in this dispute, actually there are two kinds of measures. If it's about the trade in bananas, trade this activity, then it's something related to GATT 1994 because it's goods, the trade in bananas, for example, trade. But if it's about the wholesale trading or separate trading, we say, it's a kind of service, right? Then it will be governed by GATS. So these two, GATT and the GATS are not mutually exclusive agreements. Okay, good. Then, on this page, I've told you that each member and each WTO member has its own sovereignty to decide which service sectors he would like to open. Not everything. For example, the banks. In China, in Wenzhou, have you ever seen any branches of foreign banks? Never, right? Why? Because banks, this industry, is very sensitive. They are owned and operated by governments, right? We can see the banks are the sons of the governments physically. Sons in blood, I mean. Right? The banks are the sons of the governments. And physically. Okay, good. Then, the banking services are not open to foreign investments. Are not open to foreign suppliers or foreign services or foreign service suppliers. But how? I mean, how does a government restrict its open of services? In the form of a services schedule. And in Chinese, it's called 服务减让表. Schedule of commitments on trading services. As opposed to services schedule, we also have a goods schedule. Goods schedule in Chinese is called exactly 货物减让表. And what would be included in the goods schedule? It's all about tariff rates, something like that. Tariff rates, because they're goods, right? Tariff rates. And what included in services schedule. It's all about the openness of a country's services sectors, like this. We've already talked about this, right? This is a services schedule of China. And look, the title, column 1. Column 1 is the names of the sector or subsector. This is H, and we also have I, A, B, C, D, right? And column 2 is the restrictions on national treatment, NT. Column 3 is about restrictions on, oh, sorry, this is incorrect. This should be market access, okay? Market access. This is about national treatment. Market access always relate to barriers, right? For example, if I have too many barriers, then you cannot enter into my market. Market access, right? Yes. This is about the services schedule, okay? Okay, then let's take a break of 5 minutes. We'll come back later.